You know that feeling, right? You wake up, you're motivated, and you think, okay, this is it. This is the day, the week, the year I finally get it together. But then time just kind of slips by, and you look up, and you're in the exact same spot. It is one of the most frustrating feelings on the planet.
So, what's the deal? Why are you still stuck? You feel like you're trying, you're putting in the effort, but you're just spinning your wheels. Well, we're going to get to the bottom of that right now.
And here it is. This might be the most important thing you hear all day. You're not stuck because you're lazy or broken or not trying hard enough. It's because you're improving the wrong way. Seriously, the strategy you're using is practically designed to keep you right where you are.
Okay, so let's get into it. The very first piece of the puzzle we have to understand is this thing called the self-help trap. This is where that feeling of making progress is actually just a very convincing illusion.
This right here shows the two different worlds we can live in. On the left, you've got passive consumption. Watching videos like this one, saving quotes on Instagram, buying another online course. It feels super productive, right? But it's a trap. The real change, the stuff that actually matters, that all happens on the right side. Active execution. Actually doing the thing. Measuring if it's working and staying focused.
Let's just put a name on it so we know exactly what we're fighting. It's the consumption trap. It's that little dopamine hit you get when you learn something new, and it tricks your brain into thinking you've already done the hard part. It's basically mental junk food. It feels good for a second, but it gives you zero real fuel for your goals.
And boom, this quote just lays it all out there, doesn't it? It's a little harsh, but it's a truth we need to hear. All that learning, without any doing, is just procrastination in a fancy disguise.
So, okay, if just consuming more information isn't the answer, then what is? Well, that brings us to the real roadblock standing between you and everything you want. The execution gap.
This is the whole explainer in one sentence. Let this one really sink in for a second. The brutal truth is, you probably already know what you need to do. You don't need another book, another podcast, another video. What you're missing isn't more information, it's more execution.
So why is it so hard to execute? Well, here's where real improvement goes to die. Our focus gets scattered. We try a new habit for 3 days, then we switch to another one. We're always chasing that shiny new goal before we've even made a dent in the one we just set. Does any of that sound familiar?
And here's how we start to build a bridge from the problem to the solution. The path forward isn't lined with more books. It's paved with action. And, specifically, the kind of action that feels a little uncomfortable, a little challenging.
Yeah, that's where all the growth is hiding. All right, enough talking about the problem. Let's get to the fix. I'm going to give you a simple, super powerful 3-step action plan to build real, honest-to-goodness momentum.
This is the entire framework, and I promise it's way simpler than you think. Just 3 steps. First, you're going to do less so you can win more. Second, you're going to create a feedback loop so you know if you're on track. And third, you're going to engineer your environment to make success almost automatic. Let's break each one down.
Step 1 is all about radical, ruthless simplification. I want you to take your list of goals and cut it in half. You know what? Scratch that. Cut it down to 1. Just 1. For the next 30 days, you have 1 goal, 1 habit you're trying to build, 1 single priority. That's it. That's your entire world.
And this right here, this is the huge difference. Average people try to do everything at once. They multitask their way to getting nothing done. High performers, they do the exact opposite. They find the one thing that truly matters and they obsess over it.
Okay, on to step 2. Create that feedback loop. Look, a huge reason we feel like we're not making progress is because we're not actually measuring it. You have to track your one thing every single day. It doesn't need to be some fancy spreadsheet. Just track it. Why? Because your feelings about how you're doing are completely unreliable. But numbers don't lie.
This is a classic saying for a reason, because it's true. It's like a law of physics for self-improvement. When you start paying close attention to something just by measuring it, you can't help but get better at it. You just can't master what you don't measure.
And finally, step 3. This is where we learn to work smarter, not harder. See, most of us make the same mistake. We try to rely on pure discipline and willpower, which is like trying to push a giant boulder up a hill. The smart fix is to change the hill. Stop fighting your environment and start designing it to help you win.
So how do you actually engineer your world? It's so much simpler than it sounds. You just make your good habits ridiculously easy to do, and you make your bad habits a pain in the neck. You want to stop scrolling at night?
Put your phone in another room before you get into bed. Little changes like that are way more powerful than willpower will ever be. Okay, so now we have the tactics. But this last part, this is the most important part of all. This is a complete shift in how you see yourself. Because this isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become.
This is the rule that ties this entire thing together. I call it the 24-hour rule. It's simple. Whatever new thing you learn today, from this, from a book, from anywhere, find a way to apply it within 24 hours. No exceptions. Don't just let that knowledge sit on a mental shelf. This one habit closes that gap between knowing and doing, for good.
And what this does, ultimately, is it forces you to stop asking, what should I do, and start asking a much, much more powerful question. Who am I becoming? Are you becoming a writer by actually writing today? Are you becoming a healthier person by training today? The focus totally shifts from a simple to-do list to your very identity.
I want you to think about it this way. Every single action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. You can think about being a writer all day long, but it's the act of sitting down and typing the words that casts a vote for I am a writer. Action is what locks in your identity. Thinking about it doesn't.
And let's just end on this thought. The fear of failing, it holds so many of us back. But the real fear, the thing that should actually scare you, it's the quiet horror of looking up a year from now and realizing nothing is different. You are one focused decision away from changing everything. Start small, but please start now.